Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes to the non-gender conforming individuals out there, because this channel, we about that inclusion. We support inclusion, especially given the topic of today's video, the 2025 Virginia Gubernatorial Debate. Yes, we are reacting to that. It took place about 2 weeks ago. Very important content for us to watch. Why is that? What's going on in society? What's going on in the government? We need to be paying attention to these things. So without further ado, let's get into it. We got Abigail Spanberger on the left-hand side, and then we have Winsome Earle-Sears, I believe is her name, who is the current lieutenant governor. Winsome Earle-Sears and Abigail Spanberger. Oh, okay. So we about to have our first female governor of Virginia, y'all. That's big. That's big. That's big news. That's exciting. That's exciting. All the young women watching at home, seeing what they could possibly be. First woman president, first woman governor. It relates. It correlates.
Able to watch the debate in every television market in every county in Virginia.
They was live. They was live that night.
Northern Virginia to Richmond.
But before we get to the questions, let's go over the rules. You will each have 60 seconds to answer a question. Rebuttals and follow-ups get 30 seconds.
All right.
When time is up,
this is what I want to pause on real quick, because people don't take into account the fact that they always say, oh, I want to debate. Let's debate. Or I don't want to debate you. First of all, do you even know the rules to a debate? Do you even know that the debate has rules? It's a structure to a debate. Like, you just don't go back and forth saying, oh, I think this, I feel this way, I believe this. No, as you can see, there's 60 seconds for questions. Then you have follow-ups. Then you have closing statements. It's a whole process to a debate. You're presenting an argument. You're not arguing.
Each candidate will also have 30 seconds for a closing statement. And with that, thanks for joining us, candidates.
And it should be per topic. It's not just an open-ended thing. They're talking about a topic, and that's the structure of the topic.
All residents of the Commonwealth of Virginia, the dreaded car tax.
Car tax. They think we care about car taxes?
In your first year in office, but you will have to replace the revenue for local governments. So
okay,
how do you come up with just over $3 billion every year? You'll have 60 seconds.
Yes, thank you for having me, and it's a wonderful time to be here.
I'm trying to figure out the best place to put myself.
Former place that I actually represent.
We're gonna go up here for now.
So on the car tax, you know, we could have gotten rid of that this year because Governor Youngkin put it in his budget that we could get rid of it, but unfortunately the Democrats decided against that, and so my opponent
is going
to get rid of it too, but she's going to have to ask her side of the aisle how to do that. So we had the money, we can do it, but
okay.
Really what I want to ask,
so it sounds like she's in favor of eliminating the car tax.
Jay Jones, and say to him, you must leave the race. He has said that he wants to murder his political opponent. And not only that,
she's changing the subject already.
Political opponents.
Wait. How did we get there?
5 years old.
Ms. Earle-Sears, we're going to get to that.
How did we get there? I'm sorry.
I want to ask this first.
Hold the fuck up.
Gotten rid of that. He represented Norfolk State University. And this. Yes, thank you for having me, and it's a wonderful time to be here.
Because that was a high jump.
Former place that I actually represented, Norfolk State University. So on the car tax,
okay,
we could have gotten rid of that this year.
So she started with some fluff. Now she's getting into the car tax.
We could get rid of it, but unfortunately, the Democrats decided.
She's saying that the Democrats decided that we didn't want to get rid of the car tax.
Her side of the aisle, how to do that? So we had the money, we can do it, but
okay.
Really what I want to ask this first.
So her side, to the Democrats.
When are you going to take Jay Jones and say to him, you must leave the race?
Okay, so she basically like,
opponent, and not only that.
Wait, hold up. She basically just went ahead and said, hold on, pause on the car tax. We got that handled. The car tax ain't nothing. You know, we can handle the car tax. But at the same time, she's trying to like go ahead, switch it up, and hop on whatever Jay Jones said. I'm not even hip. I haven't even heard what Jay Jones said, but I mean it is a strong declaration. She's saying he talking about, you know, taking out, and not in GCA, taking out her opponents. So what, that is something worth talking about. That is something worth talking about, but it's not the time.
His political opponents' children.
Oh, his
and
children.
5 years
Who
old.
said that?
Ms. Earle-Sears, we're going to get
Is that
to
on record?
question in a moment, but first we're
But
talking
I'd
about
like
the car
her to
tax.
answer the question.
That's
talking about the
we're
car
talking
tax.
about the
Where
car
is
tax
still
right
my
now.
time?
Yes, but I
Okay.
want to get an answer from you. How would
I
you come up with
answered the
just
question.
over
You did
$3
answer the
billion
question.
a year for the car tax?
Then you concede your time. Stay on subject.
Yes. So as I said, we
Stay
have
on
to
subject. See, that's an example of people don't know how to debate. That was not the time. Just because you had time to ask that question doesn't mean it's your time to even discuss that.
We have run budget surpluses every year that we've been in
All right.
office. Over $10 billion, $9 billion. of
So
which
where
is
is that
coming
money
back to the
going?
Virginia taxpayer. That's serious money, and the taxpayers want that.
Yeah.
And when I am governor, I'm going to have a form that says.
Oh, she did
"Check
that
here
perfect.
If you want to pay more in taxes. But
She
my
did that
opponent
perfect.
is
She
saying
just
I'm
went ahead
Jay
and
Jones.
she fluffed her time into the end,
You'd like to get rid of
where
the
she
car
started.
tax. Will you make a commitment here tonight that
Who
you
is he
will make that
asking?
a
Oh, he's
priority,
he's
and
he's
will
asking
you
Abigail.
intend to
All right,
find
yeah.
money
What do
for
you got to say to
local
that?
governments every year if that
Hold up
tax
though.
is-
But y'all seen that how Winsome played that, right? Like she tried to like give a whole bunch of fluff during her quote unquote time, and then at the end when they was trying to hone in on what your actual stance is on the car tax, that's when she started like kind of giving some. It didn't make sense to me. She said there's going to be a box that you can check. She said a couple different things there. I'm not going to go back and rewind it, but basically what she could have spent time on explaining, she didn't talk about until the end of her time. You heard the ding 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 ding. They're just like, all right. So that's just me as a neutral source. I'm gonna be as neutral as possible. I'm gonna be as non-biased as possible. But I think I do know what candidate I am supporting. But yeah, I say that to say it's not the strongest opening to a debate from somebody. All right, but let's watch it. Abigail she look confident. She needs some buffs. She needs some buffs like Big Gretch in Detroit.
The tax is the most hated tax in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yes, and
in fact,
let's talk about that
has
for
been the case
a second.
many, many years.
Because I drive a hybrid, I actually pay a higher car tax.
My husband Adam, who is here this evening,
Yes,
actually wrote
because
a
I
paper
don't
in high school
pay
about
as much in
getting
gasoline
car
tax.
And year
I
after
have
year,
a higher
we've
car
heard
tax.
promises about getting rid of the car tax, but without a plan to do it. Unfortunately, my opponent, when in the legislature, had the opportunity to lower the car tax by 10% and voted against it. Now,
Okay.
in the 4 years that she has been the lieutenant governor, she hasn't made the effort or endeavored to get rid of this tax. And
Your
in
side
fact,
said
I
no.
will
Ms.
work
Earle-Sears,
with anyone.
please.
To
You can't talk while the other
Democrats,
candidate is
Republicans,
talking, while the
local and
other
state officials
debate
to
person is
finally
talking.
Get rid of this most dreaded tax. In fact, it requires significant planning and cooperation. But I have a history of getting rid of hated taxes during my time in Congress.
But you
I
said you're gonna
repealed with
increase
bipartisan
taxes.
support a unfair
Yeah, come on, Earl.
tax on firefighters,
Come on,
police,
Earle-Sears,
and
let us talk.
public servants. I have gotten
Okay.
rid of a hated tax in the past by building a coalition, and I will
So
do it
Ms. Earle-
again.
So, Ms. Spanberger,
Okay.
how would you come up with just over $3 billion?
Yeah, that's a
fund
great
that
question.
to
How are you gonna
tax
come up
local
with that?
governments?
It requires bringing people together, Democrats and Republicans. To
Obviously,
any
people have to
and
come together.
all, possible paths
So,
forward on
what's the
table.
actual
You are
answer?
correct that we need to ensure that the loss of the car tax doesn't mean loss of funding to our
Okay.
public schools
Already said you're
and
gonna
to
keep
our
Cut her mic.
first responders.
Cut her mic.
And so, in working together, we will work to not only repeal this tax, which of course also requires a constitutional amendment,
Okay.
But ensure our
Ms.
communities are
Spanberger, your
funded.
time is up.
It doesn't require a
We're
constitutional
going to move on.
amendment.
All right.
It's just a decision.
Yeah.
Deanna?
Eh, new
Next
topic.
question is about the temperature and tone of political speech. The first example has been shaping the race for governor and attorney general for the past week. You both will have a chance for rebuttal. Democratic Attorney General nominee Jay Jones admits he sent text messages to a colleague referencing former Republican House Speaker Todd Gilbert. Here's what he wrote.
Jones. 3 people, 2 bullets.
Woo! Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head.
Oh.
Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Jay, please stop.
Yeah, please stop that.
Jones. LOL, okay. I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes.
Oh my God.
You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die.
Yeah.
Jones.
Wait.
Yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move.
Oh.
Jay Jones has apologized and says he takes full responsibility.
Yeah, bro, you was wildin'.
Spanberger, you have called the comments disgusting and said you condemn violence. The question
Yeah,
for you
Jay,
tonight
you
is,
wildin',
were you
Jay.
aware of these messages before they were released publicly, and will you continue to endorse Jay Jones as the next Attorney
That's a
General of
great
Virginia?
question.
60 seconds.
That is a great question, because Jay, you were wilding saying that. I personally, yeah, like, no, I don't support that, nor do I really want a candidate who would say things like that, especially in any context. Let's just be real. But the fact that he thought that was okay to say in amongst professionals is a little alarming to me. I think he has his own debate. I think we need to check out his debate where maybe he has the answer for that, and maybe we check out that and see what he says. I think I saw that in the corner of recommended videos for this one, but yeah, let's see what Abigail got to say.
Jay Jones made are absolutely abhorrent.
Yes.
I denounced them when I learned of them, and I will denounce them
Okay.
every opportunity I get. As a mother, as a public servant, as a candidate for governor, I denounce them. And it is important that candidates always denounce violence on no matter which side of the aisle. Violent rhetoric, we should always be focused and forceful in our denouncement of it.
Going to tell him
And
to get
importantly,
Can she
my
stop
opponent, unfortunately,
talking?
only denounces violence when her side is the target.
Don't
I
lie
hope
like that,
into the
Abigail.
future she will endeavor to denounce violent rhetoric and violence no matter who.
Cut her mic.
victim. And tonight, Lieutenant Governor
Are you just
Earl-Sears,
denouncing
I
it,
will
or
say
you
you routinely refer to me
Ms.
as
Earle-Sears,
your
Ms. Earle-Sears,
enemy.
just please
You
give her a chance to
routinely
respond.
refer to me as your enemy. I'm not your enemy. You are not my enemy. We are political opponents, and tonight voters are here to listen to
today
the
you're
policy
saying that, but
differences
Ms.
that
Earle-Sears,
Earl-Sears, stop
so as we
talking.
move forward, we
will
must
both have chance to
continue
respond.
to set a good example for all of our children.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
All right,
Just,
one
I didn't
question.
hear an answer there on the endorsement.
Yeah, will you
issue.
still
I
be
wanted to make
endorsing?
sure. Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones?
That's a
to
great
be the next
question.
Attorney General of Virginia, and were you aware
Because
of these
you gotta
text
be
messages
strong
before
to the
you
committee,
released? You have
to the
30
to the
seconds.
group.
In fact, it appears that it was those who released the text messages and held them for years, so the public was unaware who had knowledge of these
When did you
text
know,
messages
and
for
what
many
did
hours.
you do about
Ms.
it?
I
Earle-Sears,
learned
please
of
give
these
her the
text
chance.
messages the day that they came out, and
I wonder if
denounced them as soon
Earl-Sears
as I learned of
team,
them.
like the people for Earl-Sears probably want to see her asking questions
At
while
this
she's
point,
talking.
as
They
we
probably
move
like that.
forward, the voters now have this information that was withheld for them,
You're running to be
presumably for
Ms.
political
Earle-Sears, please.
reasons. But the voters now have the information, and it is up to voters to make an individual choice based on this information.
So she's not going to
Ms. Spanberger, I
publicly
understand what you're
endorse
saying
or
about the voters,
condemn.
But for you yourself, do you still continue to endorse Jay Jones? 15 seconds, yes or no?
Yes or no?
We are all running our individual races. I believe my opponent has said that about
time is
her
the
lieutenant
charm,
governor
Abigail.
nominee.
Ms. Earle-Sears,
And
Ms.
it's up to
Earle-Sears.
every person to make their own decision. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay.
Spanberger.
Thank you.
We
She
just
didn't answer the
wanna
question
clarify,
directly.
You know, what you're saying is that as of now, you still endorse Jay Jones as Attorney General?
I'm saying as of now, it's up to every voter to make their own individual decision. I am running for governor. I am accountable for the words that I say, for the acts that I take, for the policies that I have put out.
Thank you.
I am responsible for the
I would like
policies
to
I
have
put out
seen
and
a
the work
clear
I will
answer on that,
I am
Abigail.
for the people
Earle-Sears.
of
Governor.
I understand why you can't, but
Ms. Earle-Sears, before we get
Damn.
to rebuttals, because we will get to rebuttals, we have a question.
I know
for
she
you.
know we wanted a yes or no
So
answer on that
this
joint.
next example does speak to the divided nature of our country. During the Charlie Kirk Memorial, President Trump said, quote, "I hate my opponent and I don't want the best for them." Is there a place for that kind of political speech? You have 60 seconds.
Well, I think as everybody knows, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian before I'm a Republican, and I'm required to forgive people. And it's hard sometimes when somebody has abused you, etc., but it's something you must do, because not to forgive is almost like, as someone said, you drink poison thinking that it's
You
going
notice
to
how
affect
quiet
the
it
person.
is when she's
I wanna live a
answering?
decent life, and I don't want to not have peace in my life. And so I,
Like, that's how a debate's supposed
as
to
I've
be.
said before,
Let that
I
person
would not
talk.
say that. So that's why I'm wondering why my opponent won't say, beyond its abhorrent and disgusting, why she won't say it is not okay and that he must leave the race, because Jay Jones advocated the murder, Abigail, the murder of a man, a former speaker, as well as his children who were 2 and 5 years old. You have little girls. What would it take him pulling the trigger? Is that what would do it? And then you would say he needs to get out of the race? Abigail, you have nothing to say? Abigail, what if he said it about your 3 children? Is that
She
what
is
you
a
would
former,
get out of the race, Abigail?
like, CIA, FBI person. She is not cracking underneath those type of questions. Come
I know
on
you're
now.
saying that you would not personally say this, but do you think still that there is that place for that kind of rhetoric, the example that we gave, even coming from others? You have 30 seconds.
So I'm responsible for my
Virginia
behavior. What
compliant.
I've just said I wouldn't say that.
I'm in
wouldn't
my
speak
house.
That way. Look, I'm from a third world country. I was born.
I'm in my house,
and when I was 10 years
enjoying
old, I saw that kind of political
enjoying my
violence,
content.
which is why I'm asking my opponent to please ask him to get out of the race. Have some political courage. What you have done is you are taking political calculations about your future as governor. Well, as governor, you have to make hard choices, and that means telling Jay Jones to leave the race. I have seen what it means when people are shot in the streets and thrown in the back of cars just for political purposes. I don't want to see that in America. America must never be that place, and Abigail needs to say something.
Ms. Earle-Sears, you're out of time there. We do have one more.
Yeah,
follow-up
they got a question for
you before we get
and
to
then
one more
rebuttals,
question
yeah.
for you. This is on the topic of endorsements. President Trump has endorsed the Republican incumbent Attorney General. Do you need Trump's endorsement to win the race in Virginia? You have 30 seconds.
So I will take all endorsements, including the president. And I am working very hard for the people of Virginia. I believe in lower taxes. The people want that. My opponent, unfortunately, she's already said she's going to raise taxes. She's going to raise energy rates. Well,
I
she's
could just
already
imagine
voted
the
that way
conservative woman that's
because,
voting
that's all she wants is
for
solar
Winsome.
and wind. Well, if you look outside, the sun isn't shining and the breeze isn't blowing. And then what, Abigail? What will you do? What will you do? You're smirking. And you know that the people of the Southwest have a lot of energy issues.
Ms. Earle-Sears, we need to get to rebuttals. So, Ms. Spanberger, you have 30 seconds to respond.
I think in her response to the question that you asked, my opponent proved my point, which is when violent rhetoric comes from her side of the aisle, she refuses to denounce it. The statement that you read from President Donald Trump was violent rhetoric that she refuses to denounce. And this is why I say you are not
Ms. Earle-Sears,
my enemy.
She has her 30
and
seconds.
I wish
You'll have
you would
yours.
stop
murder.
using language like that. But I am also glad that she
Not to
began
forgive
speaking
is
about
one thing, but
issues
murder
of
is
affordability
something
because
else.
Earle-Sears,
as
the
we are
viewers won't
talking
be able
about
to hear.
issues of affordability, I am the only candidate on stage who's put forth a plan to actually lower costs for Virginians.
Ms. Earle-Sears, now your turn for a rebuttal. You have 30 seconds.
So what Abigail has just said is a lie, that she's the only one who has affordability. Please go to SpanbergerLies.com and check that out. I don't understand why you just can't come forward and say he needs to go. I mean, we're talking about murder. We're talking about someone's life being taken from them. Have you nothing to say about that? Are you not going to address it? Really, you can't go
Stone
any
cold
further.
face.
You're a governor. You're supposed to stand up for all
She
the
want
people.
she knows she can't say
Are you
nothing.
saying political murder is all right?
She want to respond, but hold it.
Ms. Spanberger, I want to give you a chance
I
to
have a
respond
rebuttal to
since
that?
yes.
Once
You have
again,
30 seconds.
I have denounced political violence,
Okay.
political rhetoric, no
Okay.
matter who is leading the charge. When given the opportunity, Lieutenant Governor Earle-Sears, you have not done the same.
No matter who is leading the
And
charge
so
on
when
what?
it is important that all
When
of us set
someone
a better
showed a
example.
sign that
Mr. Earle-Sears,
And
it's
so
difficult for us
important
to
not
hear.
Cut her
a
mic.
water
Who
fountain. It
is
took you a
Mr.
whole
providing
day to
the
say
comments
Mr.
something,
Earle-Sears, we
that
need
are
to move on,
advocating
but it's
for
difficult for
political-
us
She
to
has no,
hear
she
if
has no
you're both
courage.
talk-
You
but it's-
cannot be governor.
The
No
audience
courage.
can't hear.
The audience can't hear when you're talking over each other, so we just want to make sure
Excuse
that we
me, I
limit
was
that
not
so
talking
people
over
can
her.
hear.
She has no courage.
We're
Okay.
going to the next topic
Yes,
now.
we are moving on to the next topic.
I couldn't even hear what Abigail had to say because
It's been more than a
Winsome
week
wants to
since
talk
federal
through,
lawmakers
but
allowed the
that's
government
a
to shut
tactic.
down with more than 150.
That's a tactic that they use though. Like that's a tactic amongst the right, and I even feel like certain political figures, they want to see that certain political groups want to see their candidates have that type of aggressiveness to them in their debate style. They want to see them hitting hard, quote unquote, onto the opponent so that they can be put into a tough situation with a yes or no question situation. There, even those the independent debate runners are asking yes or no questions, and Abigail is dodging the yes or no answer. Again, she do got that FBI CIA background, so she gonna know how to respond to questioning. She has that Fed level national background, national security background, so she's going to know how to dodge those questions easy. I don't like the fact that she is interrupting, because as a person who upholds debate, I don't like that Winsome is interrupting her. But as a person who does enjoy hearing a person being yes or no, like yes or no answer, yes or no answer, yes or no, like I do like the fact that she is putting Abigail in that situation so that me as a viewer, I can sit and watch and assess how Abigail is responding. It lets me know two things. She is for the party. The party has said this is our candidate. She is not going to go against the party. However, she is kind of letting it be known that she does not support what he says. She does not condone what he said. And if it was up to her, we don't know. Would she still allow him to run, or would she not? And that gray area right there, I think, is enough politically for her camp and for her team to be like, that's enough for our people to like kind of still rock with her. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I get what she's saying. It's like the gray area is you support and vote for what candidate you want to choose and you rock with. She doing what's right for Virginia. And part of that, I guess, is going with the Virginia Democratic Committee and rocking with them as their candidate. So politically, she's playing the genre how it's supposed to be played. Like if we playing model you win, she playing model you win.
1,000 government workers. Virginia is facing the brunt of the impact. So, Ms. Earle-Sears, knowing its impact on Virginia,
A lot of
If you
y'all
were
don't know what
governor
Model
now,
UN
would you
is,
ask the president to
or
use
may
his
not know. A
power
lot of y'all
to
may
work
not
with
know what Model
Democrats
UN
to
is.
reopen the government? You have 60
Model
seconds.
UN is just like
So my
United
opponent
Nations.
all
You
summer
do it
long has been playing political
middle
football
school, high
with federal
school,
workers by trying to say that she loves them
college.
more than anyone else. Well, let me tell you what love looks like. It looks like Abigail calling Senators Kaine and Warner and telling them, go back, do your job, and vote against the government shutdown.
All right, we talking
only
about the
need
government shutdown.
Eight Democratic senators. That's all we need. And we cannot find 8.
Did
And
we get the
yet,
question? Let's get the question.
As president's impact, Virginia is facing the brunt of the impact. So, Ms. Earle-Sears, knowing its impact on Virginia,
Yeah, we got a minute to go,
if
y'all.
you
We
were
still got
governor
time to
now,
go.
would you ask the president to use his power to work with Democrats to reopen the government? You have 60 seconds.
So my opponent all summer long has been playing political football with federal workers by trying to say that she loves them more than anyone else. Well, let me tell you what love looks like. It looks like Abigail calling Senators Kaine and Warner and telling them, go back, do your job, and vote against the government shutdown. We only need 8 Democratic senators. That's all we need. And we cannot find 8. And yet, we can find 2 in Virginia. When are you going to publicly say to Senators Kaine and Warner, go and do your job and keep federal workers working? That's the way you stop the shutdown, because right now they're having to work, and especially
So
our
she's
military
saying
without any pay.
ignore
Our United States
all
Army
of the
veterans.
bureaucrats,
And it is
bureaucracy
definitely
of
hard,
why the
especially
government
in
shut
enlisted
down.
ranks, to work without
Let's
pay.
go
You
ahead
can
and
do
just
something
tell
about that.
our
You're the one
2
who's been
senators
talking
to go
about
in
all
there
that love. Well, show love,
Ms.
keep
Earle-Sears.
them in their
and
jobs.
Ms. Earle-Sears, the
and go
question
for
that you're
whatever.
looking for, the answer to is, would you ask the president, if you were governor, to use his power to work with Democrats to reopen the government? 15 seconds to clarify.
So the president has already said that he would do that. But you know, before anything gets to the president, it's in the Senate right now. The House Republicans have voted, and it's in the Senate. And all we need for it to get to the president so the shutdown stops is 8 Senate Democrats. That's just it. 8 Senate Democrats. And we cannot find any because they're playing political football, as you have been, Abigail, all this time. Love is
She
a
don't
verb,
answer the
it's a
questions.
show me. It's a doing. Love is not a shutdown. When are you going to ask Senators Kaine and Warner to please keep federal workers working?
All right, we're going to go to Ms. Spanberger next on this one. Knowing the shutdown's impact on Virginia, if you were governor now, would you urge the 2 Democratic senators to vote to reopen the government until a deal can be worked out with Republicans? You have 60 seconds.
Well, importantly, when I was in Congress, when I entered Congress, I entered during the longest government shutdown in history. And 2 weeks into my time in Congress, I went to the White House. I sat down in the Situation Room with a group of Democrats and Republicans.
Okay,
and the
so she's
president,
telling a little background story.
urging him to come to the table, urging him to make a deal. That is how we started the path towards ending the government shutdown, with leadership from the president. The current lieutenant governor of
Ms.
Virginia
Earle-Sears, let
has
Ms.
not
Spanberger finish.
stood up for Virginia workers, because right now, at this moment, when Virginia's federal workforce and contractors and communities across the Commonwealth are suffering because of this government shutdown, it is only increasing the challenge that they are facing after months and months of the attacks from this White House under DOJ. The entirety of that time, my opponent has made light of federal workers losing their jobs, saying
I'd like a
it's
rebuttal,
not a
please.
big deal,
So just to
and that
clarify,
everyone loses their jobs.
Ms. Spanberger, time is up, but just to clarify then, you would not urge the 2 Democratic senators to work with Republicans to reopen the government?
To clarify, I would encourage everyone, our Democratic senators, our Democratic House members, our Republican House members, to work
This is her
together
first time
and
doing that.
drive
Ms.
an
Earle-Sears,
effort
please. Thank you.
to
Continue.
come back to the table. everyone from Virginia, the most impacted state in a time of shutdown as our communities are suffering. After months of DOGE and attacks on our federal
Your time's up,
workforce,
Ms. Spanberger.
everyone in Virginia should be coming together.
She ain't say nothing.
Time's up,
to
Ms.
reinforce
Spanberger.
negotiations.
Continue and continue.
We are going to move on to the next topic, which is data centers, and my colleague.
Am
All
I not
right,
going to get a
yeah.
rebuttal?
Next
She's
topic.
attacked
She
me.
ain't really
Am
say
I not going
nothing.
to get a rebuttal?
I'll give you 15 seconds.
Thank you very much. So you've heard a lot of words from my opponent, and she's talked about DOGE, and you know, I'm the one who started a men's prison ministry. Of course I care about people. It was one of the best things I did. We've created over 265,000 jobs. I know what it's like to lose a job. How could I make light of it? But my opponent has cut and spliced my words so that it will
Time
look
is up.
like I did not
Ms.
care.
Earle-Sears, time is up. Next topic, data centers with my colleague Deanna.
Thanks,
That's
Tom.
important.
So data
Data
centers are
centers.
expanding across Virginia, increasing power demand and expected
They're-
to raise energy bills
yes,
even more for
yes.
all Virginians. Ms. Spanberger, what is your plan to make sure data centers have the power they need and Virginians don't get stuck with the bill? You have 60 seconds.
Absolutely. So data centers are coming to Virginia, and many localities want to welcome them. And it's important that they pay their fair share. And as governor, I
They
will
help
ensure that
because
data
it's going to
centers pay
like
their fair
bring
share.
more headquarters
But we have a
here,
challenge looking towards
more
the future
businesses
as
looking
it
to be,
relates
you
to our
know,
energy generation here in
relocate to the
Commonwealth.
Richmond,
We are the largest
well,
net
Virginia
importer
area,
of
period.
energy in the country.
We are.
And
We
that
have a lot of
requires
data
real
centers in
leadership
Loudoun County.
contending
That's
with what
because
is
you
an
support cutting
Ms.
energy.
Earle-Sears,
impending
you will have a chance.
an impending energy crisis. And unfortunately,
We definitely
as
do.
we see an impending energy crisis, my opponent has supported efforts from the Trump administration to take millions and millions of dollars of energy investments away from Virginia. This is all the while that energy costs continue to rise for Virginians. That is why in my affordability plan, I laid out plans to reduce the cost of energy here in the Commonwealth.
Ms. Spanberger, as a follow-up, you stated that data centers must pay their fair share. So what does that look like exactly to you? Are you committing that to Virginians not seeing more price hikes? You have 30 seconds.
Absolutely. So importantly, there is currently an SCC case moving forward. And so
Okay.
pending the results of that case as it moves forward, it may require action within the General Assembly to ensure that large utility users like data centers are paying their fair share for the energy that they consume.
That's what we
For anyone
need.
who wants to view the
Do you
further plans
support
we
that?
have to
They need
reduce
energy
energy,
that you're not
it
going to
is
provide
at affordablevirginia.com.
They need energy.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. Ms. Earle-Sears, what is your idea for offsetting the high costs of data centers, energy demands, and preventing additional rate hikes for Virginians? You have 60 seconds.
So, the Virginia Clean Economy Act, when it was passed, every single Democrat voted for that. Every single one. And by the way, my
I just realized the closed caption was on. My fault, y'all.
What it did. Speaking of no energy, it took 11,000 megawatts of power immediately off the grid, Abigail, without anything to substitute for it. And all you want, again, is wind and solar. Well, you know, it's that little thing called the technology revolution that's still happening. And it's that little thing called the, industrial revolution that's still happening. Businesses need power. What are
Okay.
we going to do about that? Well, let me
What
tell
are you
what
going
we
to
are
do?
doing.
Okay.
We have started in the Southwest a micro reactor program to see how we can bring energy to the Southwest.
She ain't saying
and
much
make
of
it a
nothing.
regional energy hub, as a matter of fact.
Ms. Earle-Sears, you're out of time.
Okay,
If you
the
wanna follow up
Southwest,
there. So what-
Virginia
the question was,
is
what your
very
plan
rural.
for offsetting
Very, very
those high
rural,
costs of
very
data centers,
farm
energy
area.
demands? What is your plan for making sure Virginians don't get stuck with the
Mountain
bill? So
area
30
too.
seconds.
So what we need is an all-of-the-above approach to energy. We need clean coal, we need oil, we need nuclear, we need natural gas, and we need, yes, renewables. My opponent's only plan is solar and wind. Well, what happens when the sun goes down? There is nothing.
Ms. Earle-Sears, we do need to move on to the next question.
All right, thank you, Deanna. We have a question tonight from a Norfolk State University student. Let's listen.
Young people are leaving Virginia for more affordable housing and better job opportunities. What initiatives or policies would you implement to make Virginia a more attractive place for young professionals to live, work, and build their future?
Ms. Earle-Sears, we'll start with you. How do you respond to the students' economic concerns?
Yes, so what we have done in Virginia, and what we're continuing to do, is we're bringing jobs here because we want our children who are born here, raised here, we want them to stay here, and we want them to do very well because we want them to create generational wealth, and a good education will do that. But when the education happens, they also need the jobs. And I don't know if you've been seeing, but we have created over 15,000 new business startups. Never existed until we came into office. New business, high-paying startups. And then we have created, as I've said before, over 265,000 jobs. And we have another 225,000
So she going to a track
job
record
openings right now.
for her
And,
response.
you know, it's just with the governor, Governor Youngkin, out in Charlottesville, where Afton Scientific announced 200 more
Earle-Sears?
jobs.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Spanberger, what
200
economic
more.
policies are
Nice.
initiatives would you
Maybe she meant
implement to make
200,000.
Virginia an attractive place for young professionals to live, work, and build their futures? You have 6
Very important question.
Importantly, I want to thank the students of Norfolk State for welcoming us to this campus, to the faculty. The
She said
administration.
Norfolk.
Thank you for hosting this incredible event here. And the young woman
Damn.
raised an incredibly important
Is she
point,
really
which
from
we
Virginia?
attract people to our universities.
Is she
across
from
the
here?
country.
Or
And
did she
we
just
should
live
want to,
here?
and I do. And as governor, I will want to ensure that when they graduate, they will stay in Virginia to start a business, to start a family, and to start
A
their
lot
career.
of
The
people
challenges, though, that she
have moved to
mentioned
Northern
are
Virginia
households
because
and,
of the federal
affordability
stuff.
issues. In fact,
I
during this
wonder
period that the lieutenant
if
governor has been in
Virginia
office,
is
buying
a
house has
stepping
gone up
stone
15%. The cost of
type
renting
of
a house has gone up
place
14%,
for her.
with
Ms.
just
Earle-Sears.
Maybe she's doing
11%
governor.
increase even just this last year. The
She
third
does
highest
governor,
in the
and
whole
then she
country.
steps up to
And my
become,
opponent so
you know,
frequently
run for
talks about job
president.
creation. Virginia has had 7
That's
months this
essentially
year
what's
of
going on,
rising
I think, with a
unemployment.
lot
The challenges
of
are real, and Virginians need someone who
You
will
need to
put
look at
governor
first.
candidates.
Okay, we had a very
I need a
spirited debate.
rebuttal.
Or, I mean, a lot of people, I think, aren't
We've had a very spirited
going
debate thus
to
far,
like
and now
City
we're going to
Hall
shift gears.
or
And,
governors
my
like
colleague
trying
Deanna
to
will
stay
take it
there
from here.
for
Yes,
life,
we
right?
want to see where
Not
maybe there's some
anymore.
shared common ground. Ms. Spanberger, what quality or qualities of your opponent do you admire? You have 30
You don't see that anymore.
I
It's
admire
more
the
like
faith
stepping
that
stone
she puts into action through her time at the prison ministry that she frequently talks
positions.
about, and I admire her service to our country, particularly as someone who chose to be an American and chose to serve. I think those are admirable traits.
And maybe
frankly,
sometimes you
what
do
makes
got to
our
step
country
up
and our Commonwealth
to let
special
somebody
is that
else
people the
step
world
in.
over come
You
to
know?
our country to become Americans, to serve in the military and in elected office.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. A handshake. Well, Ms. Earle-Sears, with that, what quality or qualities of your opponent do you admire? You have 30 seconds.
Yes, from what I've seen, I believe that she is a devoted mom. I truly believe that. And that she is a daughter who loves her parents very much. And I
She's
do
taking
believe
on
that
the Trump type of
Thank
response.
you, Ms. Earle-Sears. Well, we have many
Okay.
more topics up for debate tonight, including transgender issues and reproductive rights. We will be back after this quick break.
All right, that's gonna do it for part one of the debate. I'm gonna pause it right there. So we got about 30 more minutes left. All right, yeah, I'm gonna pause it right there. That's part one of the 2025 Virginia Gubernatorial Debate. I'm gonna finish this after I get some lunch or later tonight. But yeah, appreciate that. I am going to see DC Young Fly with my mom's. Actually, me and my mom and her friends are going to see DC Young Fly tonight, so that should be pretty fire. I'm gonna do a little vlog of that. But yeah, that's one video down for the day. We trying to get to the point where we uploading like 5 videos a day, and we really about to be on this. So if you watch to the end, I appreciate you rocking with me. It's your man CT, aka your homie Mana Badon. Appreciate you rocking to the next one, which will be one of these joints right here. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep me. If you fell asleep, just keep watching me. Just keep the content going. We trying to glow up real quick on YouTube.